Heatley End. My name is Nick, and this is Shannon. We
Hello.
are two diehard Carlton supporters who love nothing more than talking about Carlton and talking just utter bullshit in general. So, thanks to the guys at Carlton Live, Trevor and John, we have been commissioned to do our own show and start talking and sharing our love for the Carlton Footy Club. So, this is the Heatley End, in which we celebrate all things Carlton and all things that are synonymous with the Baggers. Shannon, how are you, mate?
Good. Happy New Year, first of all. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah.
It's been a minute. No, I'm good. How are you going? How was your holidays?
Holidays have been great. I just got back from a week in Dramana. I had a week off work, 8 days off work,
Brilliant.
and batteries are recharged, fully refreshed now. And I'm not only super keen to get back into this, but super keen. We are 9 days, 2 days and a week away from footy being back.
Yay!
AFLW is 9 days away. Can you believe it? Like, we're so close.
Oh, do you know how long we have been waiting for this moment?
We might be back at the footy again. We might actually. I'm piking it for it.
I'm literally counting down the days going, is it game day yet? Is it game day yet? I'm just waiting for game day to go, oh my God, game day.
I got way too excited. I've been on the Cheer Squad social media page. That's not me commenting on myself. That'll be Michelle commenting, I think. But I've been making tweets, doing little videos and stuff of highlights and stuff of the girls' games, saying 12 days to go, 14 days to go, 10 days to go, whatever. And I got a bit too excited and I posted too many videos. So now I've got to kind of wait a couple of days until I post the next one because I'm just running out of content because I'm so excited and posting it all at once.
Oh, no. I can't wait. I know tickets go on sale on Monday and it's a bit of a nervous wait to find out how many actually can go. I think it's 50% capacity for Icon Park.
Okay.
Which is probably what? 7,000, 8,000?
10. Well, the first game they got 20-something thousand, but that was absolute capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say about 8 or so would be about right.
Yeah. So, and it's obviously going to be who gets to go. And I know Carlton just released their membership for the AFLW, which is a bit confusing for a few people that have already got it.
We might touch on that tonight, I think.
Yeah, it's just going to be completely confusing. And we're not sure what's happening us as the Heatley End.
Yep.
We're not going to be able to sit in our regular seats because that's under construction. So it's going to be a whole new ball game. So it's going to be an interesting night. So let's fingers crossed that we can actually get some seats.
Yeah, Icon Park's under redevelopment. So what would be around near the Pratt stand, where the girls' race is there, where the cheer squad generally sits for AFLW games, we're not going to be there. We might be sitting in the Gardner stand. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's where we're going to be sitting.
Yeah, I think it's
race with the gyms and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much where the away race is. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So apparently we'll be sitting there, and maybe that means the away cheer squad might be behind the goals down the far end of the Legends stand sort of area.
They could be left right out for all I care. As long as I get to be there.
12 months without 12 months without footy. The last thing I give a stuff about is any away fans. They can get stuff.
I don't care if they even get a ticket. As long as we all get one, stuff them.
No, literally, after last year, I was just so happy for anyone that could get to games. I was so wrapped for all of our interstate fans and all of the members, and especially Queensland and Perth, who have, so most years get one game at most. Sometimes they're lucky to get two.
Yeah.
I was so wrapped for them, and so wrapped for anyone that managed to get to a game of footy in general. I was living vicariously through them. This year, the rivalry's back. The hatred of other clubs is back. It's no more, we're all in this together. COVID, yay, let's all get along. And stuff. I hate Collingwood. I hate Essendon. I hate Hawthorn. I hate Richmond. I hate St Kilda. Port Adelaide. I hate them all.
Anyone that's not Carlton?
Yeah, ABC. Anyone but Carlton.
Yeah, anyone but Carlton.
I hate them all. Anyone but Carlton.
To be fair, the hatred of all the other clubs was still there regardless of COVID.
Well, yeah, that's true. No, it's true. But at least, I was able, because footy was on almost every night, I was able to not cheer for other teams, but I would kind of watch other teams and enjoy the product as a I probably watched more footy this year than I ever have.
I'd say I did too. Like every night there was a game on, I go, oh yeah. It's like watching the Big Bash now. Every night there's a game on. Oh yeah, I'll sit there and I'll watch it. If it's not the Renegades, then I don't care.
Exactly. And I'm the sort of person who generally I'd be watching probably 4 or 5 games every weekend anyway.
Yeah.
But I was watching every single game was on. I mean, I was watching even North Melbourne play. That's how bored it was. And not Victoria. But like you got to, and as a result, I got to know a few of the other players of the other teams and stuff like that a bit in more depth, and appreciated maybe where we're at in terms of the actual pecking order of things and who is above us and where we're going to get to, but who are the teams we should be beating. So coming into this year, I feel like, we're kind of in a spot again where, okay, I might be able to appreciate how good a player like Dustin Martin is, and I can appreciate watching Richmond play. Now it's back to this stuff. Stuff them. We've got them in 2 months.
We do. Bring it on.
It's time to smash them. And before then, we don't actually get to play them in the women's comp, but we get to smash Collingwood in round 1 of the women again.
Yep.
Avenge that one loss we got last year. So yeah, the rivalry's back. I'm on my toes. I'm right.
I actually messaged Sarah Hosking the other day, and I go, I think it was something, one of her photos from training, and I go, I'm so upset I don't get to heckle you. I can't wait till you do sort of thing. I'm like, that's the kind of banter you want. But I saw she got picked in their leadership group, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And that's the sort of thing. If you're building a club like they're trying to do, you build someone like Sarah Hosking, you build around someone like that. As a person and as a player, she's exactly what they need. Having said that, let's start it. We've got 9 days until round 1. What are we looking forward to?
Apart from being there, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the new recruits that who get picked to play. Like, I've heard huge raps on Mimi Hill, and from what I'm hearing around the trap, she's got a bit of pace.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see her burn rubber, just tear up Icon Park alongside Maddie Prasparkas. Like, who doesn't want to see Maddie?
The best player in the AFLW.
Yeah, and reading through the post game of the practice match, it looked like a lot of the girls that our top players weren't actually playing. So if you can come away with a win against a near full strength St Kilda side, then I'm quietly confident that we'll beat Collingwood.
From memory, and don't hold me to it, I'm pretty sure that we had no Harris, Gab Pound, Grace Egan, Katie Loynes.
Yeah.
Did Al Downey play? I don't think she did. But
Moody played.
Bree Moody was best on ground allegedly, and you know what I think of her. I think she could be anything. A lot of big names missing, and they scraped by 2 points, but it was pretty much a game in which we were playing everybody in random positions, like all practice matches are. So no matter how much we can take away from it, but apparently those who are meant to be getting a kick were getting a kick. And it's good to see people like Serena Gibbs playing full forward and kicking a couple of goals. Brooke Vernon played a majority of the game down back. So a lot of the girls who maybe have still yet to cement their place in the best team, getting their shot and
showing what they've got.
That depth we've been talking about the first couple of episodes we've been having here, there's a lot of real talent still yet to blood itself. Courtney Jones is another one, was amongst the goals the other day up forward. Maddie Guerin's an interesting one, came from Melbourne to us along with Elise O'Day, and we all know what O'Day brings to the table. But Maddie's kind of going under the radar a bit, drafted as a small forward, as a half forward type role. She played off half back and apparently was, again, amongst the best and showed a lot of run off half back. So that might be the sort of run that we're losing from Chloe Dalton, who's gone off to try and play in the Olympics again and go and get another gold medal. Someone like Maddie might be that missing link in the midfield through the half back, through half forward that we need to see. So, yeah, it'll be really, really interesting, I reckon, to see whereabouts we land. We know that a flag is our expectation.
Oh, I have no doubt in the world that will be the benchmark, and there'll be no beg pardons come round 1.
Yep. And I think people must say, you got to try and set realistic expectations. The realistic expectation is a grand final, is a flag. 2 years ago, we made the grand final. Probably shouldn't have been there. We were outclassed by Adelaide. But this year, like 2020, we're every bit equal to or better than Fremantle, who were the only other side anyone could argue with faves.
Yeah.
And I think they would have won it. So it's a sort of time where we should be proudly proclaiming ourselves as potential flag winners. So embrace it. If you're not embracing it, I don't think you're aiming high enough, to be honest.
That's exactly right. And I as Andy said, grand final or bust. Because, well, yeah, that's it, pretty much.
100%.
Moving on from that, do you want to introduce our guest for this evening?
Let's introduce our first guest. We've got the King Pooh Bar himself, JR. Johnny, how are you, brother?
Doing absolutely beautifully. Just jumped out of the river again and just put on a shirt, and here I am, just loving life a little bit too much at the moment, if that's possible.
And what a shirt to be putting on.
It's like Man vs. Wild with the palm trees in the background.
Yeah, that's what I have, a cup of tea every morning and just look out at that and listen to the birds, and it just sets me nicely grounded for the rest of the day.
How's the serenity, eh?
I know.
We got a bug catcher.
Well, that two-stroke, yeah. I could quote that movie. I know it's the greatest film of all time. Johnny, we were just discussing the AFLW year ahead and our expectations. What are your thoughts? Where should we be heading with the girls this year? Is it flag or bust for you?
Oh, one, absolutely. First, yeah. I think that they've got they've got so much talent in that team. Maddie Probuscus, like you quite rightly said, is the best player in the AFLW, and she has actually lifted the competition to another level.
Strongly agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
It got real when she came on the scene.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just the level of skill around the competition has just look. It was going to improve it organically, but
100%.
Injecting people like her into the competition then just lifts it another notch.
She's the driver of that, absolutely.
Yeah. So look, I'm going with premiership. First at the end of the home and away, going with a premiership to knock off Fremantle. I think that they're, like you said, a very, very good team. Maddie Probuscus to do the BNF. But I will also go Grace Egan and Mua Alawifi to be right there with her. Ooh. I love those two. Absolutely love them.
Mua is a really, really interesting one. The first training session I saw her at last year in her first season with us, I noticed that she had a great physicality and a great athleticism about her. And I got a bit worried, though, because she was literally doing training, just kicking style, training on the ball drop. I'm going to hold the ball in the right position and make sure that I get the right action of my kick. And it was Jess Hosking was the one kind of coaching her through it and through with a few of the assistant coaches. And I kind of got a bit worried. And I said, well, I know that we used a late pick on Miller, but I thought if we have to teach someone how to kick, whereabouts are they at? But turned out it was just more of a logistical thing after a knee reconstruction. They were literally making sure that you are doing the right technique and the right sort of movement to reduce the impact of injury and that sort of thing again. And just from the very first game, the very first moment she stood on the field, I thought, we've got a real footballer here. She's a gun.
Yeah.
Just doesn't look at the contest, just really, really solid and reliable, can do her job every single week without any hesitation.
If I can put a comparison in, she pretty much filled the gap of Bree Davey with that busting through the pack. Backline.
Yep.
And I feel that she's going to take another step this season.
Well, it's the same thing. It's this continuity of playing footy. It's what we speak about with so many of the men, the young guys, but with the women as well. Just getting the continuity of footy. We had a season cut short, and then we haven't had to have VFLW during the rest of 2020. But a lot of all these players need is just to get on the park. It's the only thing that's going to make them get better and to improve. And Moo is in that boat. Moo is the sort of person, the more she plays, she's just going to get better and better and better. And with the strength and athleticism that she brings to the table, she's just a weapon.
Absolutely. Off a half-back flank, like she was running through packs and just, running away from the contest, delivering it to the forward line. In 2019, that's where we really struggled to get it down to Taylor Harris and Darcy at her feet. That's where we really struggled. Even though we made the grand final, that's where we really struggled to score. Players like Miller just, took that role to be able to deliver the ball quickly before the press comes back. I'm a big rap for her, absolutely big rap for her. And of course, Al Downey is going to be the first one to actually be crowned the greatest person of all time.
Al Downey is actually one of the greatest people of all time, if not the greatest of all time. Al is a superstar. Just every single sport she ever puts her hand to is a star. But she's one of the fossils down there. She and Loynsy are the two elder statespersons, and they're the vets, and they're still running around as quickly and as sprightly as anyone down there.
Al is getting better every year.
Yeah.
And, wonderful person to talk to. I was just absolutely captivated to meet her last year at the Guernsey presentation dinner, or whatever, not the Guernsey presentation.
Yeah, the Guernsey Club.
Yeah, the Guernsey Club. And, one of my favourites.
Love her.
And now, Shannon, I think we've got another guest. Do you want to be introducing our next guest?
Sure. It is the other King Poobah himself. We haven't seen him for a while. Hello, Trev. Welcome.
Happy Blue Year.
Happy Blue Year.
Happy Blue Year. How do I do this to make us all fit in the same way?
Brady Bunch. Hello.
What have you guys on top? Is the power dynamic changed here, or something we should know about?
I like it on top, baby.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to be part of the highest rating fan show of 2021.
Pleasure to have you on board.
Have you been Trev? What's these, bud?
I don't know what's happening with my lighting, but I'll try and fix it. But that might be a good thing for everyone not to have to look at my buff head.
Yeah, Nick, you just said we haven't seen Trevor for a while, and we still can't see him, and that's a good thing.
Anonymity is his middle name.
Yeah, I'll try and fix that up. But
it's like one of those Today Tonight videos where they're interviewing the witness and they've got the pixelated face.
They're supposed to show their face, and then you can actually see and hear them. So,
but they're also supposed to block out the voice, so it's a bit deeper, so you can't identify who they are.
It's a pleasure to be on your awesome show.
Thanks for coming on, everybody. Look, we were just discussing the AFLW and our expectations there, but more broadly, this episode is going to be about a crystal ball sort of idea of let's forecast, let's look forward to 2021 and what it's got in store for us for both the AFLW and the AFL men's seasons. What are we looking forward to? Who are we looking forward to? And what are our expectations heading into this year? Johnny, do you want to start us off? Where are we heading? What are your predictions and your Nostradamus hat? Put it on. Where are we heading in 2021?
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to first quote you on what you said pre-show, is that top 8, it's anyone's ball game. So I'm going to go into the home and away season, and we're going to finish 6th.
Ooh, big call.
And there's some science behind that as I look at what clubs are actually going to be better than us.
Yep.
And I would say, Richmond is still up there. Geelong will still be up there. West Coast will still be up there. Who was the other? Top 4 Brisbane will still be up there. And I've got Saints is just above us. Okay. And we'll be sort of on par with Saints. I'm looking at Port Adelaide to slip down because they're not going to get as many games at Adelaide, but still in the 8. And to round out the 8, I've got the Bulldogs. So, and then just missing out will be Fremantle and Melbourne for me.
Interesting. Trev, thought?
I've got Collingwood has taken a nosedive.
That's right.
Hawthorn they're going nowhere. Adelaide and North Melbourne are just straight out rebuilding. Swans they're about another year or two off coming back into the 8. So I reckon that's about where we sit, 6th. End of home and away, and then it's in.
I think you basically mentioned every single club except the rabble from Windy Hill, so that's just beautiful that you even forgot to even. They're so irrelevant now that we don't even put them high or low. They're just in the wilderness that Carlton was in 2015-16. So I like that.
Look, I wouldn't waste my time.
Yeah, waste of oxygen, mate. Trev, thoughts? Where do you have us fitting?
Look, it's not so much a selection, but it's also it's a selection as well. But it's more so that it's just got to happen. We have to make the top 8, and it just it's all stops to do that. It will happen. I know we will make the top 8. I'll put my sorted reputation on it right here and now.
Time capsule. Look back in about 9-10 months, and we'll see how you go.
Well, I can say it on your show because if I said it on our show, the ratings would be much higher, and people will be able to remember it. But if I say it on your show, then people won't remember what I've said.
You hide it on the B side, the B tracks. Yeah,
pretty much. No, we will finish finals, and it'll be 6th or 7th. We failed last year. Last year was a failure. Mm-hmm. And this year you will see the rise of the Carlton dynasty. That's the start of things to happen, and you'll see a team come together like we'd planned. This has been in the planning stage for some time. The club has stuck to their guns in terms of their plan of what they said they set out to do in terms of draft and bringing in and some players which we've done. And it'll be the culmination of all those last few years of pain to see us start being where we need to be.
I like it. Shan, thoughts?
Pretty much along the same lines. I think everyone everywhere is pretty much going, okay, finals are bust this year. Even the commentators have been saying this is Carlton now or never sort of make finals. I'm going to put us at about 7th. Okay. I feel that maybe there'll be a few games there where we might have a bit of a stumble, but I still honestly think 7th will be where we finish, and Essendon will finish at the bottom of the ladder out of fine.
Bottom of the ladder. I like it.
What?
I like it.
But yeah, no, I think this year we'll see the rise of a few of our players, and they'll take that next step, and they'll put us up into the finals, and we'll ruffle a few feathers this year for sure.
I reckon they'll make the 8. I think a couple of weeks ago I kind of looked at the fixture and said, okay, who can we beat? Who can we probably not? Or there was a handful of games where I didn't want to be too Carlton biased. So I said, there's a couple of games that are 50-50. And hypothetical, there was 4 games I thought were 50-50. It might give us 2 wins out of that lot. Or I had us winning 13 games, which is enough to make the 8. So that'll put it in about 7th or 8th. But there was probably another 3 or so games that were very winnable. And probably against teams we probably beat last year. 2020, we beat Geelong. As the siren went, we were ahead of Port Adelaide when the siren went. So there's no reason we can't be matching it with teams like this anymore. And again, we had losses to Hawthorn. We should be beating them this year. We had lost to the Adelaide Crows, which we don't mention on this show, but that happened. And it did happen, and we've got to rectify that. So they're the sort of ways that you get back into the contention for the 8, let alone making the 8. I'm similar to you, Johnny. The only thing putting a lid or a ceiling on my expectations are the teams who I think are still better than us. I also think Richmond, Geelong, Brisbane are better than us. I think that I'm bullish on West Coast. I think that they could do really well, but I reckon they're starting to get a bit of aging to their top stars. Kennedy, Hearn, etc. are getting a bit older now. And it only takes 1 or 2 injuries. We saw at the start of the year with West Coast. It only takes a couple of injuries for it all to go to pear-shaped for them. And they won't have as many home games again this year. So I can kind of see them slipping toward the bottom of the 8, of the top 8. I think the Bulldogs will make it as well. My other team in there, I reckon the Saints can probably do it, but my other team making the finals, along with us to jump in, will be Melbourne Demons. I think they're good enough. I think for us, 13 wins is about right for the men. I think we can expect to see Harry Mackay have an absolute blinder. He showed signs of it 2020, and I think with the potential lack of Charlie Curnow, it's now on his shoulders. It's okay, time for you to carry the ball now, son. And he's just about primed and ready to go. So I'm looking forward to Harry Mackay, and I'm looking forward to one of our co-captains, P. Cripps. I think we made a bit of a mistake in 2019 with his body management and his sort of fitness regime. I'm of a firm belief you never break what's not broken, or don't fix what's not broken. And I think we tried to get a bit too cute with him, and it messed his body up a bit, and he was playing very injured for the entirety of the 2020 season. So I'm looking forward to that being rectified and us seeing the midfield ball returning, and let's get a few more clearances and a couple of Brownlow votes under his belt again.
He's looking.
You've written off Eddie Betts, Nick. You've thrown him to the wolves.
I would never write off Eddie Betts. Well, look, by write off Eddie Betts, are we saying we're writing off Eddie Betts and it's his last year? Yeah, it is his last year. Yeah, 100%. Has he still got something to contribute to our team? 1,000% he does, yeah. Will it be 23 games? I don't think so.
I didn't see him in your best 22.
Did I list the best 22? Where did I put that?
Was that you? Maybe it's someone else. Maybe I've spoken to him.
No, if I've done best
22.
His is the one position that is up for real debate, in my opinion. That's the selection headache for me. It has been for a while. Who's our best small forward? What does our small forward team look like? If he's not in it, he's very close, is my answer to that. I'd have to give it some real thought, but I think that he, Durden, Honey, and maybe Fogarty are all fighting for one spot.
I don't think it's a selection headache whatsoever. Yeah. It's going to be Eddie, it's going to be Eddie until someone steps up, and then Eddie will just very gracefully and very happily, pass over the mantle. That's the way it's going to go. That's why he signed for another year, because no one was ready to step up. By mid-season, probably someone will be ready to step up.
And that's the hope. And like we saw the kid always get his crack in 2020. When he got it, he didn't necessarily make the most of it, but he got his crack, and hopefully a bit of continuity with the VFL competition or North, whatever we're looking at this year, whatever it looks like. A bit of continuity might allow someone like an Owies or a Honey, even a Sam Philp, all these sort of kids, the opportunity. I've got the hiccups. The opportunity they need to actually stake their claim and try and take that off Eddie. But
look in the mirror, give yourself a fright.
I do every single morning and night. If you want a real fright, you stand in the mirror sideways with the shirt off and you see this tummy start to go like that. And I've been a skinny prick my entire life, but now I'm a skinny prick with a tummy. I look like one of those aliens from Men in Black, the ones that drink the coffee.
I was gonna chuck in a couple of cents. I think Fish can also play a huge role in 2021. We all saw what he did in that. What game was that? That is it. Or one of those games where he just just put the Jets on and just kicked probably as part of the best goal I've seen we'd kick all year. So it just goes to show what he can do, whether it's in the midfield, whether it's in the forward line. I just think that he's going to be one of those ones that are different. Not a lot of people are going to know how to match up on him, and that's going to be one of our secret weapons, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in Fish, and it's good to see he's finally gone through puberty and he can actually put a bit of beef on, and he's really bulked up.
Haircut though, that's a shocker.
It is a shocker.
It is an absolute stinker. A few of these boys really need to meet a barber.
He's channeling Stephen Kernahan.
It's very Sticks. It is really quite Sticks. If he kicks as many goals as Sticks and takes as many marks, Good luck with you. Do what you want. I just hope he's a better
Fish has played that role in the midfield. He's brought into the midfield too early, as probably many of our youngsters were. And he got bruised and battered, but he's got all the tricks. I think he's resigned himself more than anything mentally to the fact that the midfield's not an option for him, at least for the next few years. So, get his head around becoming a goal sneaking forward, put his efforts into that, which mentally, if he's done that, then I think he can, now that he's accepted that by the sounds of it, I think he can really, go up there and be that small forward we need.
For me, he's more of almost a bit of a half forward as well. He and Jack Martin, for me, are the guys playing on that half forward line, and they become extra midfielders. John, you said in the past, that there is everyone's kind of unless you're a key position, you're kind of a midfielder now, sort of thing. He'll get minutes around the stoppages in the midfield, and we know that his breakaway pace and his agility in close in traffic is very, very good. He and the likes of Martin, and if they can. I know he's my whipping boy, but if someone like Cunningham can step up and actually do that same sort of role, and then they all look pretty good. I think that Eddie, now in his age, might be a bit more stay at home and be at the feet of the likes of Harry or McGovern or Casbolt or whoever's up there. Yes, absolutely. And almost like down back, you've had the likes of Simpson, and before that, you've had Daisy and these sort of guys down back in the last couple of years, almost playing like a quarterback type role, helping set up the defence from the back. I don't see why you can't have a general up forward setting the tone and being that leader up there, telling Harry Mackay, you run there, you lead that way, and if you don't, I'll get your feet. God, if someone can get in Mitch McGovern's ear and tell him where to be running at the right time and get him focused and staying on, Eddie's the man to do it.
I stayed up late last year during the night on my iPad under the cover, watching many replays. My wife thought she sprung me one night being a bit untoward on the iPad, but I was just watching Carlton replays.
Hey, sure it was.
And Eddie's stuff that he did, he didn't kick goals. He didn't kick the goals we wanted in this year, but his goal assists and his setups and his positioning, he obviously saved a few games for us. I don't think some of the games we played suited him. We didn't move it in quick enough. We abandoned the way we wanted to play in many cases of moving the ball quick. We've clearly got that mantra this year to play that game style. And, with the likes of our new running players off half-back and our wings and wingers instead of – I think Eddie's going to surprise a few, and I think he's going to kick a few goals.
Well, further to that, when we go to games, we can actually see what the players are doing, when the ball's not around. And watching Eddie over the years, he's been one of those players that you actually see setting up the forward line. You don't see that when you watch it on TV, and that's why everyone was so harsh on him. No one actually sees what he does when the cameras aren't on there. So I think this year, if we actually get to go to games, we'll be able to see what he does behind the ball. And I reckon it will shut a lot of people up, that's for sure.
It's one of those things.
I wish I had a smart co-host like you when I do a show, Shan.
What?
I wish I had a smart co-host like you when I used to do a show.
I struck gold when I got this one with me, mate.
Oh, is he still there? Is he? Oh, hey, John. Sorry, mate. I couldn't see you there. Sorry.
But it's like Plowman, isn't it? Plowman, I've been saying for years how much he actually does off the ball. And if you see it on TV, he looks like an absolute spud. But you go to a game and you see what he does, and he's got in the perfect position at all times.
My point exactly.
Yeah, positionally, very, very, and that's what I was kind of saying before with Eddie. He's the sort of bloke that I think Eddie's problem is, and it's the same with all champions. We say it about, whether it's Buddy Franklin or whoever, because they set the bar this high. Anything less than that, we kind of say, "Oh, he's lost it." Well,
yeah.
Eddie, for me, the moments that I saw, he was kind of a few marks that he should be taking, slippery fingers. All of a sudden, he's almost got in his mind, "Here's how I'm going to kick the goal," before he even takes the mark. So his mind, mentally, he's still 23, but his body's still 33 or 34, I think he is now. So I think that's the only thing. A bit of luck on your side, and if the ball getting down there a bit quicker, thanks to the likes of Williams and Sard coming in and these sort of additions to our side, it's again, if there's anyone in the league you don't write off, it's someone like Eddie Betts. Class is permanent.
Exactly, and he only needs to kick 1.5 goals a game. He's
if he gets one a game, that's all I want.
Yeah, he's done a job.
Yep.
While we're on the topic of 2021, let's take a step back. Who are your predictions for our best and fairest coming up on the 6th of Feb? Before we jump into who's going to be best and fairest in 2021.
Okay. Very nice, love it.
Good work.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it, Johnny. Who do you think is going to win the best and fairest from 2020?
For 2020, Jacob Wiedering.
What about you, Trev?
First of all, Carlton Live will be there representing the fans, of course. Exclusive access to the tickets there, so we'll make sure we're there.
We got 3 tickets to that event.
Sorry, how many tickets?
I'm there.
I'm there too.
That's all right, good stuff.
We're there with the cheer squad, though.
4 of us.
I'll be down the beach.
3 of us and 1 in spirit.
Mark and Andrew will be my dates.
Beautiful. Yeah, excellent.
Security will be tightened around Levi just in case, I get
They're going to have to tighten it around Murph, around me. It's fine.
Wiedering will win it in a canter, I would suggest. And young Sammy Walsh would be my runner-up tip.
What about you, Nick?
I'm in agreement here with Rob and also in agreement with Tony. I think Sam Walsh is going to do it. I think his last 6 games, he comes home with a wet sail, and I think he might just pit Wiedering. During 2020 season, I kind of did a running weekly with my positive posts and all this sort of shit. I would do like a running BNF tally, and I probably knowing that he was getting close might have been swayed to give him extra vote or 2 in the last week or 2 to help him get over the line. But I reckon he did enough. I'm going to go out on Walsh. I reckon the Walsh era is upon us. Either he or Wiedering. It's a 2-horse race, let's be honest. There's no one else in contention, is there?
Would that make Walsh our youngest BNF winner if he wins it?
Cripps won his 2015 when his second season.
Where's Natalie?
He was drafted 2013 draft, missed 2014 with the injury. 2015, he got the BNF. So in his second, probably the same age as Cripps, I reckon he would be.
Yeah. I'm going to call a tie. Just going to put that out there between Wiedering and Walsh. Should be a tie.
We are a fan of the tie, aren't we? We've had it a couple of times with the women's comp.
Yeah. Big fan of the tie. I reckon it'll be close coming into the last round, and I reckon that it'll be a tie.
Walsh just had a birthday, I'm pretty sure. So he was 20 or 21 just recently.
So he'd be put off by the fact that it's now 2021. Yeah.
Wouldn't that piss you off if he was the youngest and just because the BNF was put off by a few months?
What are the thoughts on the fact that it's been put off? I've seen a bit of talk on Twitter this week. It's a bit of a non-event now, and 2020 is over with. Let's just focus on this year. I don't expect the event to be necessarily an absolute piss up where we can interact with the players and that sort of. I don't necessarily think it's going to be that, and I don't expect it to be that.
No,
I'm glad to be at anything to do with Carlton, but the opportunity to say hello and goodbye to Simo and Cruz. Not that they're going anywhere; they're both assistant coaches now. But yeah, that sort of opportunity for me is really all I care about. I don't need proximity to players at this event. I know that none of them are going to be drinking. None of them are going to be. Bloody hope not. If they are, I'll have me to deal with. But you know what I mean? Like it's going to be a quiet night on that front. It's going to be more just a celebration of Carlton. So,
and the fact that we actually get to be in a room together for the first time in 12 months.
Yeah, I reckon that's beautiful.
It's all about attitude, isn't it? And
perspective.
And I'm approaching it as the fact that like you said, Shane, we have had a shit 2020. It's an opportunity to get together. We've been starved of everything to do with footy, and this is a good chance to get together. And maybe it could have been worked into a season launch / 2020 grand. Or they want to try and get some revenue back by having still another season launch. But that's probably, you're running out of time to organise that. I haven't seen anything advertised for that. But the players deserve a best and fairest. And I think it's set in stone. It's there. I'm certainly going to be going there having a good night.
Yeah, I'll go as well.
And as much as the night, charging what is it, $250 a head or whatever we're going to be paying, is something that they're only going to get your money. It's probably in the non-event or whatever. I've heard all these sort of comments. If the night isn't the greatest night of my life, I've given some money to the Carlton Football Club after the worst year we could have ever possibly imagined, and call me the rose-eyed glasses, eternal optimist. But if that's what I have to do to make my club better and be able to succeed, I don't give a stuff. Take my money. What do I need to do? How can we play our part? As much as the fans have done their part above and beyond the last couple of years, we've still got a part to play to help get this club where we need to be.
Speaking of your greatest night of your life, when's that date coming up?
November 6th.
Oh, right.
Stakes Day, Emirates Stakes Day. It'll be at the room next door to where we'll be in a fortnight, John. Sorry, Trev.
So AFL Grand Final's going to be on November 6th this year, did you say?
Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah. No, it'll be better than the Grand Final. You worry about that.
Exciting.
It'll be like the 1995 replay on repeat. Will be the November 6th. Yeah, that's our wedding date.
I'm so excited.
If you need a wedding singer, let me know. I'm available.
Yeah, I've got Sticks singing "Stand by Your Man" all night. Navy Nina's walking me down the aisle.
I thought Ava was walking you down the aisle, Nick. How rude. I thought Ava was walking you down the aisle.
Oh, well, Ava and Darcy Vesio can be the celebrants.
Done.
Sticks could probably do with the cash, so I'm not surprised that he's turning up.
No, it's going to be a hell of a night, I must say. Look, that's a really good call, Shat, for the BNF.
Can I add in there just what a magnificent year that Carlton had financially?
Yes.
I think they got a $36,000 profit. To make a dollar profit in the year that we've had is just absolutely fantastic.
Without AFL assistance, might I add?
Yeah.
We
The AFL put the cup there and said, "Who wants to, please, sir, may I have some more? Who wants some?" We didn't come to the trough.
Let's be honest, that's to do with us. It's the members.
1,000%, as I said before. The members and fans have gone above and beyond, carrying the rebuild of this club the last couple of years.
And that's come off also the back of the good work of the club. The club's turned around and focused the whole club based on the member experience and member engagement. And getting in. So it's been a revolving snowball effect. The club started it by turning themselves around and getting the fans back to there, and we've repaid the faith by putting our hard earned out there.
Yeah, and strongly agree with that.
Yeah, and our digital department, Rose Zaraki, who heads it up, she, that department, that is the best in competition. That digital department. And that goes on to Trevor's point of having that, not only the member engagement, but the supporter engagement as well.
If you engage supporters, they become members.
Yeah.
It's not rocket surgery, is it?
Yeah, I feel part of something. I want to belong to this. This is really great. Where do I sign?
And I believe they actually won the award too.
Now you mentioned that, I do think I saw something of this.
Their AFLW coverage was the best.
And even on the weekend, we had an AFLW practice match, and they were live tweeting scores and updates and stuff like that. There were other games on the weekend, and a handful of clubs basically at the end of the night put out a match report. Oh, here's what happened. That was it. And I get it. A lot of clubs have had to lay off staff, and our profit that Carlton's been able to record has come on the back of laying off a lot of staff, and that has been terribly hard to do. And I get that a handful of other clubs have possibly still on skeleton staff in that regard. Carlton's staff that have been working, or they've made a concerted effort, to continue focusing on the digital marketing and the promotion of the club through these particular platforms. But the staff that are working are doing a fantastic job.
Oh, 100%. It would be easy to return to work off the back of 2020, knowing that a lot of your friends aren't going to be there with you, and for them to even hold a candle to like what they've done in the past, like they're just an outstanding job. I've seen it nearly every day on the Carlton Instagram or the Carlton W Instagram or the Carlton Reserves Instagram.
We've got a Reserves Instagram now,
Yeah, like there is constant content all day, every day. So it just goes to show that you don't need a massive team to pull it off. And it's a testament to them for the resolve that they've had, for sure.
And I think what that tells me is that the staff who are still around have bought in. They know the vision, they know the goal, they know the strategy, and they're dedicated to do that.
Just one thing back on the best and fairest, if I may. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm really looking forward to is Jack Nunes getting his life membership. That's going to be
the statue built yet? What
special event, and they might be unveiling the statue at some point at Prince's Park. I'm sure this year, but that'll be a special moment for me. Well deserved.
Yeah, good call. No, I think that we should be acknowledging moments like that.
We're getting his life membership this year.
Murph's got his life membership, and Shane O'Sullivan. I want to take a moment to acknowledge Shane. There is very few people mean more to any club than Shane means to our club. He's the man who drafted Kernahan. He's the man who drafted Bradley. He's the man, he's been around. The Carlton put out a video of Eddie Betts slightly mentioning, or in brief mentioning, a moment in his life and his career where Shane came to his aid and really saved him. If you speak to Eddie in person about what Shane means to him, he'll tell you that Shane saved his life that day. And Shane O'Sullivan is an absolute doyen of the Carlton Football Club. And to see an acknowledgement like that at AFL level is, I could speak for days about what I think of Shane O'Sullivan. And I know that my beautiful friend, Nat Gasper, who's just commenting now, thinks the same. He is a brilliant, brilliant man. So it's great to see him get acknowledged as well. You mentioned really quickly about wanting to acknowledge the club and the fact that we've made such a profit this year and everything. Debbie O'Connor's got a comment here saying that the club are actually set to still be coming out of debt at the end of this year. Now, just around grand final week, a video surfaced from 10 years ago, from 2010, of Brendan Gale when he took over as CEO. I think he might have been whatever he was at the time, going on Footy Classified, and they set out a 10-year plan, and we want to double our memberships. We want to have 80,000 members. We've now got 100. We want to win 3 premierships in a decade. They've now done that, and they were getting laughed at. When Kane Little came to the club in the start of 2018, we set a 5-year plan, which included 1 premiership and getting to 80,000 members. And getting out of debt. We're just about to get out of debt. We're on track to get 80,000 members. Now it's the part to see. We've been mentioning flags and stuff like that. And Shannon, you said by 2023.
Yep.
We've built an AFLW program that is very successful so far, about to hopefully reach the pinnacle. But I really can't speak highly enough about where this club is headed off field. That's all well and good. It's time for us to translate that to on the field. But I just want to really, really give some props to the club. We're mentioning how hard it's been for the fans this year. I can only imagine the frustrations that our club's administration and staff must be having over the past 12 months in trying to do their job. Although that a lot of people who are watching are probably still waiting for their membership packs to arrive and all that sort of thing. Just keep in mind that you've probably got 1 or 2 blokes working from home trying to send out 80,000 membership packs. It's not an easy thing, so bear with them.
Yeah, people
doing a Herculean job at the moment. And I really think we should be paying a bit more tribute to these guys and just the effort the groundwork that's gone in to propel us into what's to come.
Yeah, here. Now, back onto content. You mentioned before about Sam Walsh. I want to start off a new conversation in terms of predictions. Sorry, I don't want to take over the show here. But 2021 predictions. Who is going to be the most improved player in the Carlton Footy Club?
Now.
And I'm going to say Sam Walsh, even though it's unfathomable to think of that he will get better. But I will I think he will get that much midfield time. He will get exponentially better, and we haven't seen the start of it, I reckon.
So you think this year maybe All Australian?
I'd say this year pushing for Brownlow.
If it was anyone other than Sam Walsh, I would kind of giggle a bit more. It's Sam Walsh. I don't see why not. That man could make a double 100 and take 5 for all. Like, he's that good.
I like the fact that he's got a tan now and he's not so pasty. That's good.
Me or Sam Walsh?
Yeah, he's getting some time with John.
And those palm trees. No, me, I reckon that we're going to. I agree with Rob here. Harry Mackay. He is going to take the next step. I saw a photo of him or vision of him over the last couple of days at training, and I think he looks like he's put on a bit more beef, and he looks like a giant. And he is a giant, but you know what I mean. Like, he's put on a bit of extra beef, and I think he's going to be hard to stop.
He's 2 axe handles across the shoulders now.
Yeah, strong.
Strong. And if he can get out of his own head and kick straight, he's going to kick 50 plus this year.
Yeah, good call.
I'd like to see him just be mentally aggressive and mentally tough. If he decides in his own head and his head realizes what his body can do, he can just take it apart. I want him to be. He's 200 centimeters now.
Yep.
If he gets his head right, he can walk and talk like he's 210 centimeters.
We've seen a lot of videos of him doing, like, is it the sprint training and the running training and this sort of thing. He's a sort of bloke that if he gets a run, he's pretty quick as it is. We saw that, was it 2019, he ran 6 bounces and kicked a point against Bulldogs and stuff. It was like watching Buddy Franklin spring down the wing and stuff. He was like a gazelle, but he's not slow by any means for a big bloke. If he gets a run on and you're standing in his way, you're stupid to stand in the bloke's way. So you're right. If he starts to learn, I can run through a few of these blokes, and starts to play like that and have that sort of, we'll call it the Tom Lynch shit about him, you know, I want to be a physical forward that people fear. Yeah, he could absolutely. I mentioned Harry Mackay before as the breakout for me, so I'll go elsewhere. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I genuinely think by the end of the 2021 season, he will be established in our best 22. He's Paddy Dow. I think he's ready. I think he's ready. I think it's about to happen. I think he might have played more in 2020 if not for injury. He had a bit of a knee issue that was niggling, and another one who was guilty only, who'd been thrown to the wolves too early. I have probably now given up on Lockie O'Brien, but I'm far from giving up on Paddy Dow, and I think he's just about ready to establish himself. I don't think he's necessarily going to become a gun and you know, average 32 touches a game and all that sort of thing, but I think he'll cement himself in that 22 and will win over or win back a lot of love and sentiment from a lot of fans.
Look, I don't see it. I don't think his disposal's there, but you may have been seeing something that I haven't. Matt Biggs, get ready for the stock report to rise. Yeah, Stocker. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Well, simply by getting a game, he's improved one, I guess. Yep.
There's another one for sure. All right, while we're on the topic of our breakout players of 2021, let's finish it off with our predictions for the 2021 best and fairest. Now that we've...
Can I quickly do my most improved?
Sure.
We said before that the forward pocket half forward position is probably the most up for grabs. I'm thinking that the wing spot is probably up there as well. Now, we saw this kid play a couple of games there towards the end of the year.
He got red hair?
And he hasn't got red hair, no. But he absolutely blitzed it.
Is he a left footer?
He is a left footer.
And
he's from the country town of Ararat, and he's just gone for it. If you've seen him, I don't know if you've seen him lately, but he's also one that's
he's a big boy.
And he's got his name on that wing, as far as I'm concerned, if he stays fit and healthy. And deshackled from a run with position on the half backs. Now that we've got some new players down there, and
I think he's probably lost his spot in that back six, but might refine it in the wing. Yeah,
he hasn't necessarily lost it. I think he's earned his spot up the field, and that's
good call.
That's what I'm led to believe, that they have earmarked him for that up the ground spot. That's where he's training with the midfield group. The way that he can deliver the footy on that left foot, he's going to be the perfect, running machine up there. He's super fit, great left foot, and it's going to be him and Sam Petrescu-Seaton and Setterfield and Dow, even Murphy competing for that spot.
It's going to be tough for the selectors, that's for sure.
Tommy Williams is actually a really good pick. He's someone we all like him as Carlton fans, but I don't know how many people outside Carlton know him.
Yeah.
He might be someone that they might start to get to know, I reckon. Yeah, good call.
I like that.
He's one of the few that you could say he's got mongrel at the moment.
Oh, does he? Right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
We need a bit of that in our team. We need a little bit of like the old Mitch Robinson style grunt about him.
Jared Wade.
His second or third game, he gave Gary Ablett. Do you remember that? His second or third game, he gave Gary Ablett one for the Suns and just said, "See you later, guys."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was gold.
Debbie's going with son of Jack. Well, I don't think Jack's got any kids, but son of Joe, Jack. Yeah.
Everyone's been he's been a bit quiet about him over the summer.
He is another one. He is another one who could be in contention for that forward spot. But my only worry is I still don't know his best position. Some people think he's a midfielder. Some people think he's a forward. Some people think he's thereabouts. I know that much.
One thing quickly, and I'll ask this to all my fellow panelists and the host of the show especially, of the amazing show, the Heatley End. It's a fantastic show. You should get on it, everyone. How pleased were you the fact that we sort of remain consistent with we didn't sort of go and do wholesale changes? The talk that Jack was looking elsewhere. All bullshit half hour. Yeah. How happy are you that we sort of remain consistent with our side and we kept the Lockie O'Briens, the Jacks, the Dows, and we just didn't go shopping them around, and we're showing faith in them by keeping them as a developing list, I suppose.
I'll jump in here. On the topic of Jack, I'm of the belief that he was never necessarily on the table. I know that there was a bit of murmuring and stuff bubbling. I don't necessarily think it came necessarily from him or the club. I think had another club have come asking the question about him, then that may have changed. But I don't think the question necessarily came. In terms of someone like O'Brien, who you also mentioned, I think that we missed an opportunity there. Apparently, late on in the piece, Collingwood, if it wasn't for their salary cap debacle that they're in, apparently the Pies showed a bit of interest late in the piece in trade week, and I reckon I would have given him up for just whatever.
O'Brien doesn't deserve that.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve that.
I'm of the opinion that I'm with you, Nick. I would have taken anything for Lockie O'Brien. He's been a bit of a hit and miss for me. He's been touted as one of the next best thing, and I'm yet to see anything. It's a bit of talk a lot about, don't deliver much for me, Lockie O'Brien. And in terms of sauce, I think, well, like I said, he was my unpopular opinion. I reckon one more year, give him, and then
now or never.
Now, yeah, like I said, now or never. Prove me wrong. I'll say it again. Prove me wrong. But if you don't give us anything in 2021, then I'd be looking elsewhere.
The club, I don't know if everyone saw the club put out a video during the week in the last 3 or 4 days, them doing a training obviously, and O'Brien kind of streams off the halfback and kicks it. I think Patrick absolutely shanks the kick, butchers it, and then kind of jogs toward the next contest where he kicks the ball, where Sam Walsh gets the ball, and O'Brien kind of attempts a half tackle on Walsh, and Walsh just blitzes through him and stuff. It was subsequently taken down by the club.
Wow.
I think that they realised. I don't know whether the comment section got a bit blown out of proportion, but I think they realised, oh shit, we just put up a video of a kid just butchering the ball. What I saw, everyone knows Lockie's a left footer. I saw him bouncing the ball on his right side as if he's going to kick on his right, and then decides to kick on his left, and just a pie floater of a kick. It showed me a bloke who's just devoid of confidence, completely bereft of just any confidence in himself. I think he's going to be one more year on the list, probably dragging his feet in the twos, and whether he gets sent to another club or elsewhere at the end of 2021, I reckon his time's up.
I agree. I'm unfortunate as it is. I don't think he'll get another contract.
God, I hope I'm wrong. He's a nice enough kid, all that sort of thing, but nice kids don't win your flags. And you mentioned how you want someone like a Williamson to have a bit of shit about him. We've got a lot of nice kids. I want some pricks in our team, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I did hear somewhere that he doesn't quite have the right attitude either. Yeah,
I think he cracked the shits when Nunes came in and took his spot.
But yeah.
And I'm sure now that Williams has come in and taken the other spot, I don't think he'd be too happy about it. But
he's in one of those zones, isn't he? With Williamson and who else? Cunningham and Nunes and Gibbons and Honey's coming through and Philp and Ramsey. He's in that zone that, you know, you can't be in the tail end of that zone because you're just not going to make it.
The fact that guys like Cottrell by the end of the year had played like 7 or so games means that Cottrell has gone past him. Honey was getting games. Owies was getting games. If these kids are getting a spot, they're rookies. All 3 of those guys are rookies. If they're getting a spot before you, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think so.
It's all up to these blokes, isn't it? It's all up to these blokes. And probably we unfairly sometimes compare them all to, you see, Sam Walsh. If they just follow Sammy Walsh around and just do it, and then it's a very high bar to set. But
absolutely,
the good thing is it's up to these guys.
What do you want to say something, Johnny? What, you're about to say something?
Matt Beggs, I wanted Carlton to draft Darcy Fogarty over O'Brien, 100%. I loved everything Darcy Fogarty did as a junior. He is about to explode at Adelaide. But I reckon that we've got...
At Geelong.
Hey?
At Geelong.
Oh, he got traded to Geelong, did he?
Fogarty is from Geelong.
Oh, no, the other Fogarty. There's a Fogarty that...
Oh, this is Lockie Fogarty. Sorry, I'm an asshole. I'm an idiot. I apologise.
So Lockie's there with us.
Lockie's past Darcy's Adelaide, and he's...
I'm new at this football thing.
He's an absolute jet.
It's really
absolute jet. He's about to take on pretty much that role, and he is something special. But I think that we've got now Brody Kemp to now take where we missed out with Darcy Fogarty.
I think
so. But I want to go back because you started off brilliantly, Shannon, with the unpopular opinion, and I want to keep that going around. I've got a whopper.
Okay.
Great.
Off you go. Floor's yours.
If we have been, like in the last couple of seasons, 0-4, David Teague will lose his job.
Ooh. I disagree with that one already. That is a mic drop.
No, I don't think that'll be the case.
I honestly I can't honestly see that happening. That's very unpopular with me.
Have you been on the disco bickies up there in the Sunshine Coast with all the hip surfing dudes and maybe got too much sun in your head?
No. There is actually some science behind this. Is that your 0-4 is that you're very, very minimal chance percentage-wise to make the top 8. And I reckon that they'll say, right, time to move now.
After 12 months in the job?
No.
Yep.
We're not going to be that club again. I don't think so. I reckon they're going to give him the full extent of his contract and then make a decision. I don't think that they'll make the call after.
It's a hard one to reply to because A, I don't think we're missing the 8. B, I don't think we'll be 0-4. So let me preface it by saying that. If we were and we did miss the 8 and all that sort of stuff, it'd be an unmitigated failure. I don't think it'd be one that cost the coach his job. I think too many people's job relies on Teague having a job. I'd say that Brad Lloyd's one of them. I'd say Kane Little's one of them. I'd say that Mark Lejudice is one of them. I said they're all riding or dying on Teague being not necessarily the man to win it for us, being the man that gets us there. And I just think that it would set everything back 5 years to start again.
I think there's a reason why John's got sunglasses on tonight, because he's hiding something behind those eyes. Was this opinion called unpopular opinion or stupid moronic jerk-off opinions?
Just let me get Bernard Tomic's girlfriend on for our next guest, because she's got some popular opinions to share with us. Wow.
You're getting blasted in the comments here. Who's going to coach then? Who's going to bring back Old House?
You're trying to sabotage these guys' show? You know, young supporters trying to get off the ground, trying to make a name for themselves.
Controversy creates cash. I love it.
We won't be 0-4. But,
I don't think we will.
No.
Then what? Get Malthouse back. I would rather listen to Clive Palmer do fart noises with his armpit for 2 hours than see Mick Malthouse get within a foot of our club ever again.
I'd rather wear an Essendon jumper permanently than get Mick Malthouse back at our club.
Good evening, Mick. You're watching.
Question, wasn't it?
Yeah, big fan of the show is Mick. Yeah, he's shout out if you're watching, Mick.
Shout out.
You flog.
Next.
Mick, do you have an unpopular opinion this week?
Do I have an unpopular opinion?
Top that.
I reckon, let's do the unpopular opinion in the fact that John had a bit of a segment we could possibly do. We were talking about who's going to improve. At the end of the year, let's go for 4 senior listed players, because you've got to make them. Well, let's make it 3, because you've got to make a minimum of 3 changes to your senior list. At the end of this year, who do we foresee being the 3 to get cut from the senior list? And if there's more, then go more.
Go for it. Yeah, go ballsy.
Who do we see being the next to be offloaded?
Murphy will retire.
Oh, don't break my heart.
I'm not.
I'll put that into an unpopular opinion, and that is that you'll get to 300, and that might be his last game.
Oh, you continue to break my heart, Trev. What are you doing? I do not need to cry on Facebook Live.
Why are you bullying my co-host right now? She's getting personally attacked.
She can get me back by having a go at Levi. I know that's.
Hey, he's also over 30.
This is true. No, I honestly think that if Levi may not make it past this year, sorry, I'm just going to put that out there. I love Levi to bits, but if Harry Mackay and Charlie get up, that extra tall forward we're not going to need.
This is getting personal here. John, get another drink. Hey, there, get another drink. Make it a stiff one.
I'd love Murphy. I'd love Murph to get he above anyone else in the whole side deserves some success.
Oh, I agree.
It's the same as Simpson, yeah. That is.
He's not on the side anymore. I know you've got your facts from before, Nick, but you know he left last year, right? So that's this year.
No, I said he's like Simpson. He's the bloke that deserved it.
You're 100% right. I desperately wanted him and Simo to have some success. I thought Simo bravely retired. You never know with Murph, do you? He could come out unshackled, be that half-forward wing type player that can, rack up 25 and be unhindered and be that smart deliverer we need into the forward line. You never know. He's got
Brownlow votes this year or last year.
Yep. You never know. It's something niggling him in the back that thinks, could it be?
So to answer, Sean Burgess has started us off with Owies, O'Brien and Kennedy. Well, we're going to have to put the preface on this, Sean. We said 3 senior listed. Owies is a rookie and Kennedy is now a rookie as well. So you've got 1. It's not as easy as we think. I kind of off the top of my head say, yeah, okay, bang, I've got 4 names, and it turned out they were all rookies. Getting senior listed players isn't quite as easy. So I'll start us off. I think O'Brien's one of them. I think not that he's done anything wrong, but I just maybe think he might get squeezed out is the young fella Sam Ramsey, who we got last year's draft. It might only be a 2-year in the system, but purely until they increase list sizes again, I think he might just get squeezed out. Who else did I have on my list? Shit, I've already forgotten. Let me have a look at our group chat and see who I said. This isn't as easy as I thought.
Cottrell?
Cottrell's a rookie.
I read that Adrian or someone said McGovern if he doesn't perform.
Oh, yeah, maybe. It's a hard. Oh, McGovern's going to be a hard one, isn't he? Where am I here? Matt reckons Casbolt will retire, especially if Curnow comes back healthy.
That was my point. I don't actually think Levi's going to go anywhere. I love Levi. But could he possibly be squeezed out if Charlie does come back?
Levi or McGovern or both?
Or McGovern more so than Levi. But, yeah, out of those two, I probably...
McGovern's contract comes up at the end of this year.
So does Levi's. Levi only got a 1-year deal.
Levi's been on a 1-year deal since he was 19, just about. McGovern, for me, I think they'll definitely readdress the pay he's on.
They need to because, for that amount of money, you'd want to be actually doing something.
100%. No, 100%. I don't think they would. Well, I mean, it'd have to be a disaster of a year for him to get traded.
Where's his best spot?
Where's
McGovern's best spot?
Bench.
Half forward.
Sorry, I'm harsh.
Aaron Ham will roll off the half forward flank, third tall.
High half forward for me, and Matt Beggs said wing, and I think high half forward running up.
He's not a bad. Again, examples from 2020 beg to differ, but he's not a bad field kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I 2020 was not a good second up year for me for McGovern.
The other names for mine, actually, when I said the four, so my four were O'Brien, Ramsey, I said, Jack Silvani is 3. We've said before it's now or never. I just think he might get squeezed out.
It's now or never.
And I've got to go one more, and I'm going to go Nick Newman. Just reckon there's too many blokes ahead of him for the same spot.
Yep, fair enough. Have you all gone? Because I'm happy to go last. I've been first on all the others.
Well, I'll go. Matt Beggs just jumped. he gave me my first one. Cunningham for me would be the
now
first.
Or never.
He's another one that's a now or never for me because he has all the talent in the world and I'm still waiting for him to do something. He shows us glimpses and that's it. O'Brien is another one. That's 2 for me. And I'm going to go with Sam Ramsey as well. I've seen nothing anywhere of him.
It's been hard because there was nothing VFL or reserves season.
Yeah,
it's been hard.
They're my 3.
Meanwhile, Adrian Hines has just shot Bambi in the comments. Charlie Curnow, if he doesn't make the park, unpopular opinion.
Oh,
Adrian.
I love you Glaswegians, but please.
Shit.
I don't mind that statement. It's scary.
I don't mind the statement, but it hurts to read it.
It scares me. Yeah, right. I agree. It scares me.
Debbie O'Connor just said Ramsey just did his knee or ankle at training. Well, there you go.
I know he walked off the track, but has he actually done his knee, or was it? I heard he walked like he left the track early. I don't know whether it was if it is a season injury, then the kid's in real trouble. Then yeah, that's horrible. If that is the case, Debbie, I'm terribly sad.
I hope that wasn't a Brian Taylor call, Deb.
Yeah, he's done his knee, and then turned out he played the next quarter. Or?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Mitch Robinson in one of the finals? They thought he did his knee, and then he came back and he was like one of our. It was 2013, wasn't it? Or was it 20? Or maybe might have been 2013.
Congratulations! You've received 100 messages today.
Woohoo!
Great job.
Nice job.
We're just setting records. Yeah. So your 4, Trev.
I wholeheartedly agree with Shannon.
Thank you.
It's a quick segment, that one. Johnny.
And that makes me popular too if I agree with Shannon too.
Your stocks are rising.
I know what horse to get on. Don't worry about
that. Are you calling Shannon a horse?
Yeah, mate, Mackay Diva.
Backing a winner.
Okay, so here we go.
That was my nickname back in high school, by the way.
I thought it was John Longmire's nickname.
What, because of your furry tail, or because of your hooves, or
Just a nose thing. Might have been a nose thing.
Okay, I've got several.
Wasn't Jonathan Patton's nickname, I don't think, either.
no, different
Too
reasons.
soon. Go, Johnny.
Okay. Murphy to retire. O'Brien's been said. McGovern's gone. Cunningham hurts me to say it because he's been one of my favourites, but, you know, too injury prone and hasn't produced the consistency. Nunes as well. He'll be borderline, I would think.
Going to get his statue, then get turfed.
He'll be gone. Ramsey as well. I've got Betts to retire, but obviously, you know, he is a rookie. And I will say this, another bombshell, and it's already been half said here, but one of either Charlie or Marchbank will retire.
Sorry, what?
One of either Charlie or Marchbank will retire.
Oh, okay. That's different. I didn't expect those two.
I love the kid. Can we make it Marchbank?
Buddy Holly. Roy Orbison's been replaced by Buddy Holly, says Matt.
Oh,
And here I am thinking I was the voice of reason.
I reckon the glasses and the haircut combo is a bit KD Lane, to be honest.
And just like Buddy Holly, John's opinions are going down like a.
Let it alone.
I will not hate on the Marchbank call. Before, when he was basically didn't play at all this year, but by the end of the start of trade week, I was also of the opinion that if it helped get the Sard deal and the Williams deal or whoever else was we needed to get done, I was for trading someone like a Marchbank. There's a lot of clubs that, as we looked at the draft, how many teams went for key defenders and everything at the start. If someone wanted to help make a package deal put together to get a store defender in the door for them, and Marchbank would help them do it, and it might have landed us, you know, that Trelaw or whoever the midfielder was we're after, I would have been for it. So I still firm believer in Marchbank as a footballer.
So yeah, but it may be that his body just can't stand up. And
my reasoning for allowing him to go was my faith in his body,
yeah, so that's what the comment is. You know, it's always a discussion point. But I think, you know, what I'm thinking is that one of them at the end of the season will be, so far the body hasn't allowed me to keep going, and I've got to pull up stumps.
That would be horrifying if it is either of them. I'd
hate it too.
Yeah.
If it was Charlie, I reckon there'll be a few broken hearts, but I honestly think he'll come back. Yeah, well, I reckon he'll come back.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm bullish.
Charlie and Marchbank, I've got in our top 6 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's got the potential to be right up there. I don't know about top 6 because I think our depth is now very, very tall. But I don't know why I'm a bit bullish on Charlie's prospects for 2021. I'm not doom and gloom. I reckon we might, by mid-year, I don't necessarily take that as round 15, 16. I'm thinking closer to round 7 or 6, maybe. Just about.
Yeah, I think
I just feel that
For Charlie.
they'll get crucified if they bring him back early, won't they?
Oh,
yeah, I think they will, but I just reckon he might be there by about round 7 or so.
I suppose if you're ready, you're ready, and the doc says you're ready, aren't you? He was on track to play. He would have played.
Round 1.
He would have
played last year.
Yeah. They were being super cautious and didn't hold him back. Yeah, it did hold him back, yeah. Had they have actually been in finals and stuff, he would have been a chance.
Word is they just chose the wrong doctor, or the doctor did the wrong operation.
Yeah, well,
I've offered to donate my cartilage and my kneecap to him because I don't need it anymore.
Well, I still play, so I kind of need it.
Oh, you can have it. Yeah, that's it.
I need both my kneecaps, my left butt cheek, my larynx, whatever he wants. Both my lungs and my heart. He can have it.
Give your larynx to Ed because I think he needs it a bit more than Charlie does.
Yeah.
When's your first game, Sham?
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't given us our fixture yet. They'll probably give it.
It's got to be there. We'll make a banner.
Have you been training?
Pre-season started last week, so I'm going back this week.
Very good.
If Kemp plays well, is Setterfield in danger of being traded? I don't think so at all. I think
No.
Setterfield was an A grader and is on track to become an A grader.
Will the Carlton 2020 Best and Fairest be held before 2024? Yes, it's held on the 6th of Feb this year.
Stay tuned for live updates from the Carlton.
Yeah, I'll be drunk tweeting the shit out of it.
Well, I'll be the sober one then, and I will actually be not drinking because I'm driving. So responsible adult here.
We all thought Andrew Walker was cooked. He was on the trade table to the Dogs. He sure proved us wrong. I hope Charlie Curnow does the same. Good call.
So do I, Andy. So do I.
So do I.
My only
Absolutely.
fear is, and I don't want it to be the case, that by the end of Charlie's career, whenever that is, then his knees are in the same state as Andrew Walker's, which were rat shit.
Touch wood.
There's a photo. I'll try and find it somewhere and share it around. But there's a photo of them walking out onto the ground for Walker's last game, which was at the MCG versus St Kilda. And as he's walking out, you just look at the state of his kneecaps, and one of them is just completely blank. There is no cartilage there. There's no kneecap. It's just washed away, and it's just a sad sight. And that bloke was getting his knee drained and getting injections for about 3 years straight. It was just what that guy put his body through for the Carlton Footy Club, but doesn't get enough credit.
He can't get out of bed. I saw somewhere a while back. He says he struggles to get out of bed, and he can't.
Picking up your kids, doing the simplest things like mowing the lawns is a struggle.
He's on some kind of new type of fandangled treatment that's really done wonders for him. That's made him get back to a normal life. But
was it Walker? There's another, might have been him, but there's another player I might be confused with. They're actually getting like a prosthesis, like another artificial kneecap, like a 3D printed kneecap, being what would you call it? Like an implant of sorts, just to try and fabricate the structure and the mechanics that a knee should be doing, a knee joint. I'm pretty sure it was Tex.
A little bit off topic, but they just could be able to create a new type of stem cell out of fat cells. So they can create cartilage out of these cells. So that'll work for me. I'll be able to get my knees back and work and lose 6 or 7 kgs at the same time.
Mature age recruit?
I was going to say, get back out in the park.
I'll have a crack. Don't worry about that.
You, me, and Eddie Betts will run around in the Masters League.
Oh,
I've often said in the cheer squad, give me the boots and I'll get on the ground, and everyone's like, yep, let her have it.
What have we heard from pre-season training thus far, and what has piqued your attention?
Sam Walsh, just watching him in action, just finding the ball, delivering the ball. I think if he doesn't win the BNF for 2020, he'll definitely win it 2021. That's pretty much, like, I've only seen bits and pieces of training, and from what I've seen, a lot of the boys have come back in real good nick. And we say it every year, but I actually think this year they've come back in real good nick. So I think we're up for a good season finally.
Tom De Koning is the one that's piqued my interest.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We haven't mentioned him so far tonight. He's getting bigger and bigger, this boy. He's again, you mentioned it, Shan, every preseason. Oh, they're burning up the track. They look as fit as ever. It's rinse, recycle, repeat sort of thing. But De Koning's one who, again, you only have to look at what he showed us 2020, and even before that, the games he's played. But those who have watched him know that this could be anything. And the thing I like about him is that all the footage and the photos and stuff I'm seeing about him, he's got the size coming on. He's starting to develop that man's body rather than a boy. Yep. But the thing is, I'm seeing that, but I'm not hearing it, and that's what I'm liking. Sometimes I've said it on this show, and toward the end of last year, I think Carlton started talking a big game rather than walking a big game. I think we beat the Gold Coast in Cripps after the game. Oh, the Baggers are back, baby. And we all started talking finals. And then within 3 weeks, we'd lost to GWS, Collingwood, and then the other mob from South Australia we don't mention. I think we got a bit ahead of ourselves. And I'm almost sick of preseason hearing, oh, so-and-so's flying. with De Koning, I'm seeing it without having to hear it, and I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
Can I actually add some sense this time?
That'll be the first time for tonight.
Never too late, is it?
Back in the trend.
Go for it, buddy Holly.
What I have noticed with as the years go by with the young players is they do come back in pre-season. They all of a sudden we say, oh Jesus, they're huge and all that type of stuff. But because of their metabolisms and because they haven't been subjected to AFL, is they lose it very, very quickly.
Yeah, they taper it off again.
Yeah.
They lose it very, very quickly. And now that they're getting more years under their belt, they're coming back bigger, but they're sustaining that. And that's what we'll see this year, is it won't taper off as quickly.
Yeah.
It actually made sense, fellas.
De Koning, once he held his marks, he'll be scary good. Dropped too many easy ones last year. I think dropping those marks and stuff, I think this is only a subject of his frame. He's a bit lightly built.
That's also
Not his legs. Not his hips and his
He's
legs.
got a big ass. He's like a horse, actually. He's got a big ass, like Withering, big ass, big thighs about him and stuff like that. But, he's got these pencil arms like I've got and stuff. It's hard to clunk marks as a tall when you're like that. Yeah, Stretch Armstrong. But, he'll get there. We know he'll absolutely get there.
They needed to be. There's a lot of them that needed to be bigger. Silvani, I don't know if Jack will ever put on any muscle because his arms.
like his father.
But yeah, he seems to be pretty strong, even though he gets tapped on the back and goes out for a few weeks. But Fish is notably bulked up.
Fish looks good.
Walshy, he's the Andrew McKay type of body, strong as an ox and wiry, but doesn't necessarily need to probably bulk up. Clearly not scared of getting hurt and worrying about his light frame. So he's one out of the box. But they need to be. Yeah, it's one thing that they needed to do was put on a bit of bulk, and I think that'll help them later on in the season.
I think our talent started to match some good sides this year, but then when push came to shove, we kind of got thrown around. That Hawthorn game's a good example. We were on fire, couldn't do a thing wrong, kicking 6 goals in a row, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden, I've got to stop. Matt Beggs is on fire.
He's on fire.
That is insanely good.
He's on fire.
That is great.
I apologise for laughing in the middle of that. I just saw the comment.
Welcome back to Open Mic.
Matt, do you want to job on our Twitter account?
Matt, that is elite, Matt.
I'm sorry, I can contain my laughter. That is the comment of the night.
Say hi to Kate for us there, Mike. Yeah. That's so funny. That's so fantastic.
I can't. How do you top that?
How do I go on here now?
Look, you made an awesome point, Nick. It was 100% correct. That's where we did get thrown around, and I think the mix now is greater. We've got a better mix, or our team will be a better mix of older, stronger heads and bodies, combined with a few kids in there that aren't that they can be stuck up for and walk a bit taller. When you've got too many kids in the side, they're just going to get thrown around and show.
100%. How many years were we throwing, we mentioned Dow, but Petrovsky, Seaton and Fisher and these sort of kids, throwing them to the Wolves in the midfield and go and get a kick. Well, A couple of them might get a kick, but they get bashed and they just lose their confidence straight away.
Well, that's where Dow's lost his confidence, that very reason there. And going back to Sean's question about what draftees excite us for 2020, I agree with him. I reckon Luke Parks is a ready-made player, and he's going to.
He looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be one of those players that has a burst-out year like Sammy Walsh, I reckon.
So you reckon he'll get a senior spot this year?
He's going to get a game.
He'll get a game. I don't know. It won't be early on, but I reckon he will get a game.
Well, if he's getting a game, then it means Marchbank is injured.
It might not be Marchbank that gets injured. Don't forget, we got a few other defenders.
Okay. Yeah.
Nick,
I'll go Jack Carroll.
You'll go
Jack Carroll.
Looks all right. See, I think all three of them have got the potential to be hitting the seniors straight away.
Jack Carroll, genius. That was a genius move, Jack Carroll.
Yeah.
got him at the best possible pick too. He went through without even being noticed. So I reckon that was for us.
I think Josh Honey's in front of all those blokes. He'll get a game before that. He'll be watch out for Josh Honey.
I think what Honey showed us again, it was only
not new,
last year, but what he showed last year was elite.
And he's looking big too. I think they've had a photo of him up on the Instagram, and I reckon he's put on a bit of beef too. So
the thing that I reckon sets Honey apart a bit, we mentioned having a bit of shit about you. For me, having a bit of shit about you doesn't necessarily mean you want to go the biff. It's a bit of flair. And he's the sort of bloke who's willing to stand on someone's head to take a mark. And go for those marks you shouldn't go for, and go for those goals that you probably shouldn't go for, but it'll probably come off because you've got the confidence. He just looks like he might have that X factor about him that changes games.
Yeah, he's our DeGooey.
DeGooey.
Or even DeGooey.
DeGooey.
Let's hope he's our DeGooey minus the prison time that's coming to him. Oh, I'm up there.
Correct.
No means no, kids.
Boys, I think we've hit our time. Of just complete chatter. We'll be here for another 4 weeks, I think, if we keep talking.
Yeah, the 2020 BNF will be over by the time we're over. Yeah.
That's right. So how about we finish off with our premiership predictions for 2021 and best and fairest winner for 2021, and then we'll call it a night. How about that?
Well, the premiership will be Carlton and the AFLW, and the best and fairest. It's easy to go for Sparkers. I'm going to go for. I mentioned it before. Actually, I'm going to go Bree Moody.
Okay, Johnny.
AFLW. Like I said before, Carlton to win it, and Maddie to get the BNF, but Grace Egan and Mua Aloifi to push all the way.
Trev, you missed that start of that conversation earlier. Who do you think? How do you think the AFLW are going to go?
Yeah, big fan of Grace. I really hope our girls deserve it. They just got robbed last year. It was so disappointing, and I hope there's a few in the AFL that are holding their head in shame about not getting that done, or at least everything that needs. It could have been something that could have been done. We all know that.
Yep.
It'll drive our girls, I hope. I'm really looking forward to taking my young daughter to the games. She loves seeing them, the girls run around and knowing the girls can play footy. It's first game's coming up in about 17 or so days. 9 days for the girls.
9.
Wow.
Thursday week.
We're counting down. Not that we're counting.
You don't. I know, Johnny, up in Queensland, you don't count the days when you're up there in retirement, but it's
right.
Really looking forward to it.
Carlton Live might even have a post-match or pre- or post-match live Facebook shows maybe on the night. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, we'll work something out.
Good stuff. Let's get some girls as much publicity as they can and as much exposure as they can, and change the narrative around. Well, it's changing anyway. We don't have to do too much, but we'll do our part.
That's it. Well, for me, I think girls will win the flag, of course, and I think I'm with Adrian. Georgia G is going to be
very, very underrated.
BNF.
The best kick of a footy in the AFLW competition.
She will be my smoky for BNF.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, nice.
We're going to see a lot more skill. I know I'm keeping going. We're going to see a bit highly skilled. The girls are going to take it to another level, aren't they? With the system.
It's exponential growth, isn't it?
Yep. And they're only going to get better from here. So I feel that come Thursday week, bring on Collingwood.
I love it. Well, we love to hate the rabble, and they are pure filth in my book. The only thing that's what do we say? I drive to work I get the train to work every single morning. And as I go past both Victoria and Collingwood stations, I like to give them the finger because I hate them that much. And you have to hold your breath as you go through there and also hold your wallet. That place, it is an absolute dumpster fire. But
and you
bring them on and bring on Bree Davey. No, I'm not going to say it.
Good boy. I know you're feeling.
It's shared by a few of us. Anyway, well, thanks everybody. Thanks Trev. Thanks John for joining us.
Been a pleasure having you on, Jen.
Thank you very much. We'll get you on our show at some stage during the year too.
I think that might be a good.
Let's get the crossovers happening.
Yeah, crossovers.
Cross promotion. That's good. You guys, I love watching your show. It's really cool. You really work well together.
The chemistry's great.
At 7:00. I get a lot of feedback about it, and I'm sure it's going to go from strength to strength during this season.
Yes, well, let's hope we have a few wins on the board early on that we can actually boast about.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's one thing. The girls won't be going 0-4. We can promise you that much. Look, thanks everybody. Thanks for you guys as well, but thanks also for everybody in the comments and everybody's been watching and interacting, flying through the comments. Begsy with the stand-up routine about JR. It's just been absolutely amazing tonight.
He's Trevor behind the bar. He's Trevor behind the bar.
I was going to say he's like Dickie Knee popping up with the little Mr. Summers, he's just with the one-liners. Just fantastic. Thank you, everybody who is watching us and is, encouraging us. As Shannon and I are new to this and we are just talking a bit of shit, but we're really enjoying it. And the reason we're enjoying it is a lot of the, the feedback that we are getting that other people are enjoying it and loving, whether it's January, whether it's the middle of winter, we just love talking about Carlton. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike Sheehan, for showing up.
Thank you, Mike.
It's an honour to have the many, many Walkley Award-winning doyen of the industry on our show.
And we'll be back definitely next Tuesday night, same time, for all things AFLW in the lead up to the game of Thursday night. So make sure you join us at 7:00. We'll be here. You'll be there. We'll do it.
I'll be there because I'll be here because I'm not all there.
Good night, everyone.
Right. Begsy had the winning, guys. Go Blues!
Tigers.